Honestly, if a woman is not interested, she will do these 7 things. Old Stoic wisdom. The more you chase something that runs, the more power you give it over you. Detachment isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Unknown. Most men make one painful mistake in love. They chase clarity from a woman who has already decided in silence. They hold on, hoping that more effort, more attention, or more affection might tip the scale. That if they just become a little better, she'll finally see their worth. But here's the harsh truth. When a woman is not interested, she doesn't announce it, she shows it. And the biggest tragedy? Too many men see the signs and ignore them anyway. See, men reject directly, with words. But women often reject passively, with distance, excuses, and delay. She won't say no. She'll just say later. She won't tell you she's not into you. She'll drift until you finally take the hint. The worst move a man can make is trying harder when the evidence is right in front of him. A woman who truly wants you will not leave you confused. And a woman who doesn't, she'll keep you wondering, doubting, and chasing. This video is going to walk you through 7 unmistakable behaviors that show a woman is simply not interested. If you notice even a few of them, it's time to stop wasting your presence where it's not valued. A man rooted in wisdom doesn't beg for attention. He observes, accepts, and moves forward, calmly and confidently. Because the truth is simple. A woman who wants you makes it easy. A woman who doesn't makes it exhausting. Let's break it down. Here are the 7 clear signs she's not interested in you. 1. She takes forever to respond, or doesn't respond at all. The truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is better than a sweet lie that wastes your time. And when a woman takes forever to respond, or doesn't respond at all, it's not a mystery you need to solve. It's a message you need to understand. In the age of smartphones and constant notifications, if a woman is genuinely interested in you, she will make space in her day to connect with you, even during her busiest hours. The problem is, many men still rationalize the silence. They convince themselves she's just overwhelmed with work, or maybe she accidentally overlooked the message. But let's call this what it really is: denial. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Likewise, if she isn't showing interest, don't invent reasons to excuse it. A woman who desires your presence will not risk losing your attention by ignoring you. She'll reply with excitement, continue the conversation with thoughtful questions, and maybe even initiate contact. Because when a woman feels drawn to a man, communication becomes a natural desire, not a burden. But when she's indifferent, her replies will be cold, delayed, and disengaged if they come at all. Her silence isn't confusion, it's clarity in disguise. Men often panic when they sense this disinterest. They double text, call repeatedly, or send paragraphs hoping to win her attention back. But here's where Old Stoic wisdom comes into play. A man who has mastered himself does not beg for another's validation. Epictetus taught us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. A high-value man would never chase someone who offers him breadcrumbs. He doesn't pour his time and energy into someone who doesn't reciprocate it. Instead, he matches her energy. If she takes a day to reply, he waits just as long, or doesn't reply at all. If she ghosts, he disappears without complaint. Why? Because his self-worth is not up for negotiation. He knows that silence is a form of communication, and he listens to it with the ears of wisdom. In real life, you can see this play out. How many of us have pursued someone who gave us nothing but delays and one-word replies, only to realize months later that we were chasing a fantasy, not a real connection? The lesson here is simple but powerful. Don't chase disinterest. Don't water a dead plant. Instead, walk with dignity, hold your head high, and understand that not every woman is meant to appreciate the kind of man you are. And that's perfectly fine. A man rooted in Stoicism is not shaken by the absence of affection. He understands that his time is sacred. He values energy that is mutual, not one-sided. And when someone shows him through actions that he is not a priority, He removes himself from that situation with grace, not bitterness. Let her go. Let her silence be her answer. And redirect your energy towards someone who sees your value without needing reminders. As Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Don't waste another second waiting for someone who's already shown you she's not present. Move forward, grounded and unbothered. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever found yourself chasing someone who ignored your time and attention? What did you learn from it? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might just be the wisdom another man needs today. Comment to remember, I know my worth. I walk away with dignity. 2. She never initiates contact. When a woman is truly interested in you, her actions will naturally reflect that interest. She won't leave the entire burden of communication on your shoulders. Even if she's reserved, shy, or not particularly skilled with her phone, she will still find small but meaningful ways to connect, sending a light message, a thoughtful meme, or simply checking in with a casual, "How's your day?" When a woman genuinely cares, she doesn't need to be told to reach out. She simply will, because staying connected with you matters to her. But when the interest is not there, the imbalance becomes painfully clear. You are always the one texting first, always the one trying to keep the conversation alive, always the one suggesting plans or trying to create moments together. It becomes a one-way street. Your energy, your effort, your time. Many men, especially those in their 30s, 40s, and even 60s, overlook this crucial red flag. They convince themselves that she's just busy, shy, overwhelmed, or not good at texting, crafting stories in their minds that justify her silence. But let's be real here. When someone wants to talk to you, they will. Human connection is instinctual. Even the most introverted or traditional woman will still show some form of pursuit when she feels something real for you. That could be a soft touch of interest in her tone or just her initiating a conversation. But if her silence is consistent, if the only time you hear from her is after you text first, then the writing is already on the wall. That isn't shyness. That's disinterest wrapped in excuses. Stoic wisdom teaches us that a man must observe reality without illusion, to see things as they are, not as he wishes them to be. And this is one of those moments that requires clear vision. Some men continue to pour their energy into texting, calling, and planning, hoping that if they just keep showing how much they care, she will eventually realize their value and reciprocate. But in truth, all they're doing is offering themselves as a backup plan, easy to reach, easy to dismiss, never truly valued. You're not building a bond. You're building a habit of self-neglect disguised as love. In the modern world, where instant messaging makes communication effortless, a lack of response is no longer a mystery, it's a message. One of the most powerful moves a man can make is to stop initiating contact and observe what follows. If she notices your silence and reaches out, then there may be genuine interest. But if she vanishes without a trace, that's all the clarity you need. It's not a test of manipulation, it's a test of presence. Her absence in your quiet moment reveals where you truly stand in her life. A man of wisdom, grounded in stoic strength, does not chase what runs away from him. He does not cling to potential or beg for affection. He stands still and watches who chooses to come closer. That is how you filter real connection from fleeting attention. So the next time you find yourself being the only one reaching out, stop. Not as a punishment, but as a practice of self-respect. If she values you, she'll come forward. If not, you've just saved yourself from wasting time on someone who never saw your worth. And in this world, that kind of clarity is a gift and only the strong receive. 3. She never makes an effort to see you. If a woman truly wants to see you, she will. No matter how packed her schedule is, no matter how chaotic her life may seem, she will carve out time. Because when a woman desires you, she doesn't find time, she creates it. But when she's not interested, the signs are loud and clear, and if you're a man of wisdom, you don't ignore them. You notice the excuses. I'm too busy. Something came up. I forgot we had plans. You catch the patterns, the sudden flakiness, the constant rescheduling, the lack of any effort from her end. And yet, so many men fall into the trap of rationalizing. They tell themselves she's overwhelmed, going through a phase, just needs time. But let me be brutally honest with you. Interest is revealed in effort. An absence of effort screams disinterest. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That includes being the man who refuses to chase breadcrumbs. A woman who wants you, respects you, and values your energy will show up. She'll call. She'll suggest dates. She'll ask to see you. You won't have to chase her because she's running toward you just as fast. But if you're always the one planning, always the one checking in, always left wondering when or if she'll show up, then hear me now. She's not in it with you. She's using you. And the worst part? Some women keep men around just for the validation. They'll flirt, they'll reply, but they'll never show up. Why? Because attention is cheap and they're not willing to invest in something real. Don't be that man who begs for scraps. Don't be that man who rearranges his kingdom to please someone who wouldn't cross the street for him. A woman who values you fears losing you. She won't risk pushing you away by constantly bailing. If she does, let her go. Your attention is power. Take it back. Withdraw your energy. Watch what happens. If she comes running, she was testing your worth. If she vanishes, she was never yours to begin with. That's your clarity, not your loss. He who angers you controls you. Remember that Stoic wisdom and apply it here. She who ignores you no longer deserves your pursuit. You are the prize. You are the mountain, steady, powerful, immovable. You don't chase, you attract. And if she doesn't see your value, someone else will. Comment, "I will never chase what doesn't value me," if this hit your soul. Like this video, share it with a brother who needs to wake up, and subscribe to this channel if you're done playing games and ready to live like a man who commands respect. Let that be your new standard, strong, grounded, and untouchable. 4. She keeps conversations surface level and dry. If a woman keeps conversations with you dry, surface level, and lacking emotional investment, it's not just a coincidence. It's a clear sign rooted in ancient truth, and the Stoics would tell you to open your eyes, not your heart, in moments like this. When a woman is genuinely interested, she leans in, not just physically, but emotionally and intellectually. She'll ask thoughtful questions, listen with genuine curiosity, and invite you into the deeper chambers of her life. But when that spark of interest is absent, you'll notice it in her words, or rather, in the lack of them. The conversation becomes transactional, like buying gum at a gas station, polite, quick, and entirely forgettable. Her responses: one-word replies, generic phrases like LOL, yeah, or nice, and no initiative to keep things flowing. It's not that she's rude, she's just not emotionally invested. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That means recognizing when you're being undervalued and choosing dignity over desperation. Some women continue these low-effort interactions to be polite, or maybe to enjoy the ego boost of your attention. But that doesn't mean she's choosing you. She's just not pushing you away. And here's where many men falter. They double down, send more texts, ask more questions, trying to force life into a dying connection. But what they're really doing is draining their own value. A high-value man, a stoic man, knows that energy must be reciprocated. He knows that silence can be louder than words. And when her silence speaks of disinterest, he listens. He doesn't beg. He doesn't chase. He simply withdraws with grace. Because a man who knows his worth doesn't have to fight to be seen. He simply walks where he's valued. If she's not meeting you halfway, don't drag the conversation or your self-respect through the mud. Match her energy. If she offers little, give little. If she's not curious about you, then she doesn't deserve the richness of your story. As Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself, so be the master. Know when to walk away. And most importantly, don't see it as rejection, see it as redirection. To the men listening, have you ever found yourself pushing to keep a dying conversation alive? What happened when you finally let go? Share your experience in the comments below. Your wisdom might help another man choose dignity over desperation. 5. She flirts but never takes it further. There's a subtle yet powerful truth that every man must come to terms with, especially in a world where attention has become currency and validation is often confused with genuine interest. When a woman is not truly into you, one of the most deceptive signs is her flirting that never evolves into anything deeper. At first, this kind of playful behavior might feel like progress. She laughs at your jokes, touches your arm lightly, sends teasing messages late at night, and showers you with compliments that make you feel wanted. But if you look closely, it's all surface level. Nothing ever moves beyond that flirtatious facade. You try to set up a date. She hesitates. You attempt to open up emotionally. She deflects. You initiate a deeper conversation, and suddenly she's unsure or not ready. This pattern is easy to miss when you're caught in the illusion, and many men stay stuck there, believing that consistency and patience will eventually turn things around. But Old Stoic wisdom teaches us something far more valuable. A man must see clearly, without illusion, and act based on truth rather than hope. Flirting, in many cases, is not a sign of true interest. It's a performance. For some women, it's a way to collect admiration like trophies. For others, it's a means to boost self-esteem or simply to enjoy the attention and control it gives them over a man's emotional state. If you are the kind of man who gets drawn into this game, thinking that persistence will change her heart, you're not being loyal, you're being used. And worse, you're teaching her that you can be manipulated with crumbs of affection, that no matter how many times she pulls away, you'll still be there, hoping, waiting, entertaining. A Stoic man, however, does not chase shadows. He does not invest his time, energy, or emotions into illusions. He reads the signs calmly and clearly. If she flirts but always stops short of letting things grow, if she plays hot and cold and feeds you just enough attention to keep you orbiting her, then it's not romance. It's strategy, and you are the pawn. The moment you see the game, you must stop playing. Whether you confront it with grace or simply withdraw your attention silently, the principle remains. Protect your energy. Your time, your self-respect, and your peace of mind are too valuable to waste on someone who only wants your presence when it's convenient, but not your heart when it matters. In modern life, where endless communication options make it easy to keep people dangling, your strength lies in your clarity. Do not beg for love. Do not wait for someone to figure it out. You are not a placeholder. A woman who is genuinely interested will not leave you confused. She will move things forward. She will want more than just jokes and teasing. She'll want to know your mind, feel your presence, and walk beside you. Anything less is not love, it's distraction. And a noble man does not live for distraction, he lives with purpose. So the next time a woman flirts but never follows through, don't try harder. Just remember who you are. And walk away with your dignity intact. Comment below to affirm your clarity. I refuse to be a pawn. I choose dignity over distraction. Let's see how many men are ready to rise above the illusion. 6. She talks about other men around you. When a woman is truly interested in you, she becomes intentional with her words. She becomes careful, even calculated. Not because she's hiding something, but because she values what you might build together. A woman who desires you will not casually throw other men into your mental space. She will not speak of her ex who used to bring her here, or the guy at work who keeps flirting with her. That's not how feminine desire behaves when it respects masculine presence. No, sir. When a woman brings up other men around you, frequently, casually, emotionally, it's not a sign of honesty. It's a signal, a very loud one. It means you're not the center of her emotional orbit. You're just another planet passing by. And here's where the modern man, even the seemingly wise man, often fumbles. He hears her talking about other men, and instead of stepping back, he leans in. He thinks, maybe if I just impress her more, be funnier, flashier, more successful, she'll see me. But let me tell you something ancient and powerful. Never beg for attention. If it's not freely given, it's not worth having. Marcus Aurelius wouldn't beg. Seneca wouldn't compete. Epictetus would say, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And in this case, that strength looks like restraint. That strength looks like not engaging. That strength looks like calmly changing the subject, or better yet, looking her dead in the eye and saying, you bring him up a lot. Maybe you should text him instead. Sharp, clean, director. Because here's the truth she may never tell you. A woman will test your emotional control to see what kind of man you really are. If you flinch, react, get jealous, or start proving yourself, she sees it, and she knows you're not the rock she can trust. But if you hold your frame, if you remain unbothered and rooted in self-respect, she sees that too, and that earns respect far more than words ever could. Listen, a woman who respects and desires you doesn't make you feel like you're auditioning for a part in her romantic drama. She doesn't keep dropping the names of other men like breadcrumbs, and if she does, consistently, then she sees you as a friend, a backup, or worse, emotional entertainment. You must not allow yourself to be any of those. You are not the man who waits in the shadows, hoping to be picked. You are the man who walks toward the light, only allowing in what aligns with your standards, your value, your mission. Women are intuitive. They know exactly what they're doing when they mention other men. Whether it's to test your reactions or to simply show you where you stand, it's intentional. Your job is to see it and respond like a man of substance. And here's the key advice for modern life. In an age of endless options and digital validation, your power lies in your ability to walk away. Don't explain, don't argue, don't compete. Just walk. Because the man who can walk away is the man who never has to chase. That's Stoic power in action. Now, if you've ever experienced this, drop a comment saying, I am no one's option. I am the prize. Then like, share, and subscribe to remind every man out there that his value is not up for negotiation. Your path is yours. Own it with silence, with presence, and with power. 7. She avoids physical contact and intimacy. When it comes to attraction, one of the most telling signs is how a woman responds to physical proximity and touch. And if she consistently avoids it, that's not just a coincidence. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us that truth often speaks not through words, but through action. As Epictetus once said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. The same applies here. A woman's body language embodies her interest or disinterest more honestly than her words ever will. When she's truly attracted to you, touch becomes effortless. She may lean in during conversation, lightly graze your arm, or find subtle ways to close the distance between you, even if she's naturally reserved. These aren't just cute habits, they are instinctual signals of comfort and desire. She might brush her hair back while locking eyes with you, straighten your collar with a smile, or gently place her hand on yours while laughing, not because she rehearsed it, but because attraction moves her to do so. But when she isn't feeling it, her body becomes a fortress. She leans away when you sit near. A hug becomes robotic, quick and without soul. A light touch on her hand or back is met with a subtle withdrawal. And perhaps the most telling of all, she begins to place objects like a bag, a drink, or even crossed arms between you, forming an invisible wall you're not meant to cross. That's no accident. These are clear, deliberate boundaries. Some women will offer diplomatic excuses like, I'm just not that touchy, or I take things slow. But the Stoic man knows how to read between the lines. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In this case, realize that if she's not responding to your touch, it's not about her timeline, it's about her feelings for you. The same woman who says she isn't into PDA will later be found sitting on another man's lap, holding hands with him, radiating warmth and magnetism. Why? Because attraction isn't about logic or politeness, it's raw, emotional chemistry. If she doesn't feel that with you, she might still enjoy your company or even your attention. Some women, though not malicious, appreciate the validation of being pursued, being complimented, being adored. Without ever intending to reciprocate that energy physically, she might keep you around because you're nice, safe, supportive, but not because she sees you as a lover. This is why many men fall into the friend zone without realizing it. If she's avoiding your touch, chances are she sees you as a backup, a shoulder, a soft place to land, not the man she dreams about at night. And here's where the Stoic path comes in. Don't chase, don't negotiate attraction, and don't delude yourself. Chemistry isn't a transaction. It either exists or it doesn't. A high-value man pays attention. He doesn't beg for affection, doesn't wait for her to come around, and certainly doesn't take rejection personally. He simply moves on with dignity. As Seneca put it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Don't waste time trying to change a woman's feelings, because if she truly wants you, you won't have to chase her. Your presence will be welcomed, not avoided. And ironically, the moment you stop trying, when you detach emotionally and stop seeking her validation, that's when the truth reveals itself. If she truly cares, she'll notice your absence and lean in. If not, she'll be relieved. Either way, you win, because you refuse to play games. Real masculinity isn't in persistence, it's in discernment. Now let me ask you, have you ever found yourself in a situation where a woman avoided your touch, and you didn't know what it really meant until later? Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear how you handled it, and maybe your story will help another man learn the truth faster. Drop this in the comments right now. I refuse to beg for what should be freely given. The truth, when stripped of emotion and wishful thinking, is simple and unchanging. A woman who is genuinely interested in you will never avoid being close to you. She won't shy away from your presence, make hollow excuses, or hesitate when it comes to spending time with you. She won't leave you wondering where you stand. And if she does any of those things, pulls away, delays replying, always seems too busy, it's because, at her core, she's not that into you. That's not an insult. It's a reality that the Stoic man must learn to accept without bitterness. The mistake most men make is not reading the signs for what they are. Instead, they convince themselves that persistence will change her mind. They chase, hoping their efforts will ignite interest where there is none. They overinvest emotionally, mentally, and even financially, thinking their presence will win her over. What they don't see is that this very behavior, chasing someone who's pulling away, drains them of their masculine energy and dignity. In truth, the most powerful move a man can make is not another message, another gift, or another attempt. It's walking away. A man of value does not grovel. He doesn't plead for affection. He does not anchor his worth to the attention of a woman who barely acknowledges his presence. He observes. He reads body language. He listens to what is said, and more importantly, to what is not said. And when he sees that her energy does not match his, he withdraws with calm confidence. This is not coldness, it's wisdom. When you finally stop giving your time, your attention, and your heart to women who do not see your value, you reclaim your power. You remove yourself from emotional confusion and step into a life of clarity. Because the right woman, the one who is meant for you, will never leave you guessing. She will show up consistently. She will initiate. She will invest. And she will make you feel seen, respected, and wanted. That is not a fantasy, it is a standard. So stop chasing women who keep you in emotional limbo. Start walking toward the ones who mirror your energy. In the end, love should not feel like a battle for recognition. It should feel like peace, like home, like mutual respect. Choose the path of strength. Choose the path of truth. And above all, respect yourself enough to walk away when her actions whisper the words her lips won't say. I'm not the one. All right, my friend, if you've seen those 7 signs, don't ignore them. A woman who's not interested will show you through her actions, not just her words. And the sooner you recognize it, the more time and energy you'll save. That's how a Stoic man moves, with clarity, not confusion. So here's my advice to you. Don't chase what's pulling away. Respect yourself enough to walk away when the energy is off. Your peace is more valuable than her attention. If you're looking to take a deeper dive into these concepts, join my Podium community. The link is in the description. It's packed with powerful insights to help you master your masculinity in today's dating world. Stay strong, stay focused, and protect your power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, brother.